That car is junk. A janitor like you should not even dream of touching real engines." That sentence cracked through the parking garage like a thrown stone. It was not loud. It did not need to be. The words carried the full weight of certainty, the kind that comes from power that has never been questioned. People nearby smiled politely. Some laughed under their breath. Others looked away, relieved the insult was not aimed at them. Malik Thompson did not stop walking. He pushed his cleaning cart forward, the wheels humming softly over concrete stained with oil and tire marks. His uniform was clean but worn, sleeves rolled to his elbows, hands rough and scarred from years of work no one here cared to imagine. His face showed nothing. No anger, no shame, just control. Silence was the armor he had learned to wear well. Behind him, parked just a few spaces from a line of polished luxury cars, sat his Mustang, old, dark green. The paint carried small scars like memories it refused to hide. It did not shine the way money shines. It stood the way truth stands, quiet and solid, asking for nothing. Victor Harlan stood near it with a smile that curved in the wrong places. He was the CEO, tall, sharp, dressed in confidence tailored to fit. He glanced at the Mustang again and shook his head, as if disappointed by its existence. "Does it even run?" he added casually, eyes still fixed on the car. The laughter came again, light and safe. Malik felt it brush past him like cold air. He did not turn around. He did not respond. He had learned long ago that some people speak not to be answered, but to be obeyed. Malik had promised himself years earlier that he would never beg for respect again. He would let time decide who was worth listening to. What no one noticed was the way Malik slowed, just slightly, as a sound reached him from deeper in the garage. A sound most people could not hear because they were not listening for it. It was the wrong sound. A weak, uneven attempt at life. An engine struggling to wake, not dead, not broken, but confused. Like something was holding its breath. Malik stopped. Not because of the insult. Because machines spoke to him in ways people never had. At the far end of the garage, beneath bright lights and nervous faces, a sleek black prototype sat with its hood open. Engineers crowded around it, hands moving fast, voices tight. This was the future of Harlan Dynamics. The car tied to tonight launch. The engine meant to carry a vision valued at $2 billion. Upstairs, guests were arriving. Investors, media, smiles practiced and ready. Down here, something was wrong. Victor noticed the gathering and walked over, irritation pulling at the edges of his confidence. "What is happening?" he asked, tone sharp. An engineer swallowed before answering. "The prototype is not starting, sir." "We have tried multiple cycles." Victor's jaw tightened. "Try again." The ignition was pressed. The engine turned, coughed, then fell silent again. The sound felt heavier this time, like damage waiting to happen. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Phones began to lift. Whispers started moving through the concrete space. Malik stood still, listening. He did not need to see the engine to know what it was asking for. He could hear the rhythm was wrong. Fuel was not reaching the heart when it should. The system was protecting itself from a lie, a bad signal, a wrong reading, a machine being punished for caution. Malik took a slow step forward. A guard raised a hand. "Stop there." Malik stopped, calm and respectful. He spoke softly, but his voice carried because the room was already holding its breath. "You should stop forcing it. The system is cutting fuel. You keep trying, and you will make it worse." Heads turned. The engineer frowned. "Who said that?" Victor turned and recognized him instantly. The janitor. The word hung in the air like a label meant to end the conversation. Victor smiled, thin and amused. "This keeps getting better," he said. "Now the janitor's an engineer too." A few laughs followed, uncertain this time. Malik did not look at Victor. He looked at the car. "Your fuel pressure reading is wrong," he said evenly. "The engine thinks it needs to protect itself. Check the fuel rail with a manual gauge." "The sensor is lying." The engineer hesitated. His eyes flicked to Victor. then back to the engine. Victor stepped forward. No, do not listen to him. Malik felt the old pressure rise in his chest, the memory of voices like this deciding his limits. He pushed it down. Anger would blur the truth. He said one more thing, quiet and clear. If you try again without fixing it, you will damage the system. The engineer looked at the engine again, then at Malik, then back at the tools. He hesitated only a second before reaching for a manual gauge. Victor opened his mouth to stop him, but the moment had already slipped. The gauge was connected. The numbers appeared. The engineer's eyes widened. These readings do not match, he whispered. The sensor is wrong. A ripple moved through the group. The engineers leaned in. Hands moved with purpose now, not panic. The sensor was replaced. The system reset. For a moment, the garage seemed to pause. The ignition was pressed. The engine came alive smoothly, power rolling through the space like a deep breath finally released. It was clean, controlled, perfect. Relief broke across the room. Applause followed, sudden and loud. Cameras caught smiles. Investors arriving at the ramp saw success instead of failure. The crisis vanished as if it had never existed. Victor stood frozen for a heartbeat too long. The engineers looked at Malik differently now. Not as a uniform, not as a joke. As the one who listened when no one else did. Victor turned toward him, forcing a smile back into place. Lucky guess, he said. Malik met his eyes for the first time. His gaze was steady, not proud, not angry, just honest. Machines do not respond to luck, he said. They respond to understanding. A senior board member had watched from above, silent and attentive. She stepped down into the garage, her presence shifting the air. She looked at the running engine, then at the engineers. Who fixed it? She asked calmly. Victor started to answer, but the words did not land. The engineer spoke instead. He identified the issue. We followed his guidance. The board member turned to Malik. What is your role here? Malik glanced down at his uniform. Building maintenance. She studied him for a long moment, then nodded once. Then we have been wasting talent. Victor tried to protest, but she raised a hand. Not now. She turned back to Malik. Would you be willing to speak with us tomorrow? Malik felt something shift inside him, something old unlocking. He nodded. Yes. The next day, Malik sat in a quiet conference room, hands folded, posture calm. Engineers asked questions. Executives listened. He spoke simply, clearly, describing systems and patterns like he was telling a story he had lived inside. By the end, an offer slid across the table. A real role, real pay, real respect. Malik did not celebrate. He said only one thing. I am here to do the work right. Weeks later, his Mustang sat in the same garage. It had not changed. But the way people looked at it had. Victor walked past it one evening and stopped. He looked at the worn paint, the proud shape. He did not smile. It is not junk, he said quietly. Malik adjusted the strap on his bag and kept walking. No, it never was. Because the truth had never needed polish. Some people confuse titles with value. Some mistake silence for weakness. But engines do not care who you are. They only care if you listen. If this story moved you, comment where you were watching from and share what moment stayed with you. Subscribe for more stories that honor silent strength, unseen skill, and justice that arrives without shouting.